Too many times, I believe, our Indian people are not given the opportunity to be seen or be heard. And sometimes we feel like we're anonymous. This mask means more than um, I'm trying to be unseen. I'm trying to be protect my identity. I'm, I'm not trying to protect my identity. I'm not. This is just the way I feel. This mask represents how I feel. That you want to hear from me. The non-Indian public, the white people want to learn from the Indian, the savage, the unknown, the unheard, but they don't want to give us credit. They want to keep us unnamed. They want to give us names but not really understand the meaning behind them. So this mask represents several things. It represents the San Carlos crown dancers, and they wear masks. You know, the anonymity of that is giving more power to the spirit of our Indian people. That it doesn't have to, the ownership doesn't have to be given to the individual. Because when when that spirit is given to the individual, they only see that person. There becomes ego. They become subjective. That you sometimes people have used our prayer as a platform to become known. Sometimes people have used their voice as a leader to be self-serving. And so this mass in the Zapatista movement in Mexico, this mass was used to represent the people. So we all left unnameless for a purpose because we're all one. But it would be good if we didn't have to be so defensive about why our names are important. So there's a duality to this. There's a duality in an ability to see two sides of the coin, or being able to see how emotion affects our decisions in our life, how our mind, how things that have happened to us affect. Like maybe somebody wants to wear this mask so they're afraid to go into jail.
Mm.
Maybe somebody wants to wear this mask because there's gas being put on them and they don't want to breathe that in. Maybe this mask is put in there for, like I said, the Apache crown dancers. They want to leave that identity to the spirits and not bring it to myself. You see, there was a reason for that. There's even a spiritual reason for wearing this mask. There's the egotistical reason for wearing this mask. There's a physical reason about protecting your health for wearing this mask. And there might even be a vindictive wrong reason for wearing a mask. You want to be like the Ku Klux Klan and not be known because you're ashamed of what you do. Sometimes when I was out there at some of the movements recently, I wonder if these people were really in prayer because they're wearing masks. Are they ashamed of what they do? Myself, I got this hat on. It says Harlem. And when people see this name, I also call myself a Harlem Indian. And when they see this, they think I'm black because they think the only Harlem is in Harlem, New York. But the original Harlem was in Holland. It has two A's, and that's a white community. And the Harlem as we have known it in Harlem, New York is something I was aware of growing up in a reservation community, Fort Belknap, Montana, Fort Belknap Indian Reservation, home of the Gros Ventre and the Assiniboine, home of the Ayatnanin and the White Clay people and the Nakota. So I was on this reservation. I went to school in Harlem, Montana. So I claimed the name Harlem Indian because I wanted to represent. I wanted to represent somebody. And I didn't want to represent the Grovons because there'll be people in my community saying, "You don't represent me." And then there'll be a Assiniboine or Nakota saying, "You don't represent me. Who picked you as a leader?" Well, I guess I'm many tribes. I'm 7 tribes. I'm Grovon, Assiniboine, Salish, Ponderay, Dakota. I'm also, now my sister found out we're Nimipu or Nez Perce and Lakota. And I'm also adopted Lakota, Indian way, Hunka ceremony, Waomini Shah. That's my Indian name, Red Whirlwind. But I don't use that for everything. I have an artist name too, because of my great grandmother that raised me. My name that I grew up with was the English name, Robert Upham. So I have all kinds of names for different purposes, and I don't use my Indian name to go throw it out there and be Mr. Indian. And I don't pound on the drum to be Mr. Indian. I can't sing, sorry. I have a pen and a pencil and a paintbrush. I feel like that's my calling. You know, I'm not the best, but I tell a good story through that means. So there's many ways to tell stories. I have a friend who does this radio station called Tribal Talk Radio. And I think that name means a lot. It means like we could be the voice, or he can be the voice for our tribes and talk about our issues. So this Harlem Indian name is important to me because I'm speaking for the disenfranchised. I'm speaking for what Harlem spoke for back in the day. Harlem, New York. There was a social justice movement. Malcolm X was there, Muhammad Ali. The Harlem Globetrotters played basketball, just black team, because white people wouldn't let them play. So I think we as Indian people need to make our own platform, whether it be Tribal Talk Radio or Teratipi Art Gallery, or I would say some other organizations that are in existence, but to tell you the truth, I don't know if you represent us like that. I think some of these names are tokenism as far as like putting the word Indian on it, but you might as well inside your constructed the infrastructure, the blueprint is white. You just painted it in, paint a feather on it. We're painting feathers on things that are white. Oh, God bless you guys that do hip hop music, and rap music, but we need to create our own genre of art, our own genre of music, and let them copy us. You know. So when that happens, then I think we're coming back to our own. My friend, he told me the story. He said he wants to start a radio station. Speaking of radio, Tribal Talk, my friend, he said that he's going to start a radio station. He was going to call it KRAP, crap for short. And he said it would play a lot of that rap music. So nothing bad about the rap music, man. Like if I could, I would rap. I think it's a good venue for expressing yourself. But I'm saying we have an Indian language. So I learned a few words from a song. Those songs were Koda, Kiksuya, Omankiya, Daku, Wastesteka. And I'm probably not even pronouncing all those words right. But what those words mean is friend, Koda. Help me remember all the good things that once were. Yeah. Koda or Kola means the relationship between two men that grew up together. And they were brothers. They had each other's back. They played together. They sang together. They swam together. They fished together. They went to battle together. And nowadays they probably played basketball together. They went to conferences together. They took care of each other's wives when nobody else was there. They took care of each other's moms when nobody. Those are Kolas. Now I see this word kind of being used even. I'm wondering if in our traditional way, because I don't know all these things. I'm not an expert. But does a woman call a Indian man a kola? Can they? Because this is a relationship only between the two men. Can a woman? Because I was at Standing Rock, and there was a guy there from California, and he was asking a white lady, for a piece of wood, and he said, "Hand me that wood, kola." And I was listening. I was like, I said, "What did you just call her?" And he said, "I call her kola." And I said, "Do you know what that word means?" And he says, "Yeah, it means friend." I said, So I'm not expert. I think I know a little bit about that meaning of that word, and it means it's a kola is a relationship between two men. So I don't know if that lady could be a kola. Maybe in some special circumstance, if she went through some ceremony, and she was raised as a man or hung out with men always. Maybe she don't even have a woman kind of way. Maybe she'll be a kola, or maybe she could be a woman and be with us. But just to use that word and not know the context of it, it's like we're not moving in the right pace or the right manner. We're not moving in the correct way. And I think sometimes when we're involved with these newfound problems and newfound issues and these new paradigms that we're creating, I think new names like Harlem Indian make these possibilities where we can give them their meaning, but we don't take some of our old Indian ways and use the name like Kola and change it. I don't. At least I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe it could happen.